I wanted to go over the newest features for the Node Network Copy tools. Thanks to Tom for suggesting this feature. I implemented it to help support you guys and my own workflow. I've been thinking of doing this for a while and I finally got around to doing it. So the biggest update we have today is being able to import other libraries from other users or departments into your library. And I'll show you what I mean. We have two main tools. We have the Node Network Library tool, which is user-based, and we have the department version, which is department-based. And what these two tools here, this one is for updating the user library, and this one's for updating the department library. And you can tell which one you're going to be updating by looking at the tool that pops up. So if this is the wrong tool, simply exit out and do the other one. So for starters, what it does is it launches the library along with this dialog box, the import library options, and it asks you 3 questions, or you can cancel. Would you like to create a completely separate user for this new JSON file in the library? Would you like to create a new category in your current tree that stores the new JSON file? Or finally, put all the contents in your current tree intermingled. So we're going to go through each one step by step. So first is, would you like to create a completely separate user for this new JSON file in the library? So we're going to say yes, create separate user. So just how we have custom user in Tyler, it's going to create a new folder on disk that's going to store this particular network copy.json file. So we're going to say create separate user. I'm going to copy from, it opens up to the library of this particular tool. So Node Network Library goes here for me on my disk. And it's telling you pick network copy.json file to read from. It only lists network copy.json files. This is all I can list. So we're going to say custom user because that's the one I want to copy from. And we're going to double click network copy or accept or hit enter. And it's going to say assign name. So input name for this user. So it means what name do you want to call the new user? So if you type Tyler, something that already exists on disk, it's going to keep telling you to try again, to give another name because that one already exists. So we're going to say Bob, and it actually relaunches the UI for when you create a new user to ensure that it's reloading correctly. And so it tells you the files created, and it tells you it's launching the UI again to properly display the users and departments. So a new user named Bob has been created. You just can't see it because we have to scroll up. There's Bob, and this is his particular library. So great, we've done that. That's the first option. Let's import in custom user, which is the same library as Bob, into Tyler, but with a different category. So we're going to say update user. We're going to say the second option, create new category. It says create a new category in your current tree that stores the new JSON file. So we're going to say new category, and it's going to make a new category just like these guys. And I'm going to say custom user. And you'll see it says file updated. And so now we have a new category here called copied network tree nodes that stores all the contents of the custom user. And then snippets is the same way. And you'll see something interesting. You'll see that the names that already appear in your dictionary have underscore duplicate in them. Rope and sand are new entries, so they do not have duplicate underneath them. And so it tries to be really smart about duplicates. It tries to say, hey, if there's any duplicates for that are coming from custom user that have the same name, then I want you to type underscore duplicate. And this way you'll know if the library that you're importing from has some of the same contents. So in this case, all of these are duplicates, and it's very specific about which ones are duplicates. So if this was named not DOPS, but say like rag, then it would not have a duplicate underneath it. So we'll get into that later. But this is a new, these two guys are new entries. We're going to say select all and delete that. Okay, so that is the category feature. And now it says, or finally put all the contents into your current tree, intermingled. So this is going to merge the two libraries together just as you see here. So if there's any duplicates, it's going to show up just like that. So I'm going to say put contents into this user/department, again depending on which tool you're using. I'm going to say custom user, and you'll see what it's doing here is it's just putting it directly into the tool. So to get rid of your duplicates or to see them, you can just underscore duplicate, and you can see here's all of our duplicates. So we're just gonna select all just to make sure, delete, and I'm expecting you guys to actually rename these. So if you don't like duplicate, if you don't like those duplicated, you can just rename it or delete it, up to you. So the other thing I want you guys to keep in mind is when you have duplicates already in your scene, in your tree, let's say we want to update this library, but we already have duplicates as you can see here. If you say create separate user, it's not gonna do this check because it won't have duplicates in this. But if you say create new category or put contents into this user, let's say we want to create the new category, it'll go ahead and tell you you have duplicates and you may override existing duplicates if the library you select has the same entries. It checks to see if there's underscore duplicate in any of the names, and if there are, then it warns you that there's duplicates. So it's warning you that since you already have underscore duplicate in any of the names in your tree, if the library you are importing from has the same name, like in this case cops, if you were to try to duplicate custom user into Tyler and you already clearly have cops in here and you have cops underscore duplicate, it would, in this case, it would override cops underscore duplicate with cops underscore duplicate because it already exists in the custom user. So if you don't want that happening, it's best to rename the entry if you don't want that specific entry replaced. Keep that in mind. So I've showed you all three of the import library options, and I wanted to go over the features. So expand all, collapse all, and select all. Select all is a new feature. So what it's going to do is for every item that's selected, it's going to select everything inside. So this is useful if you have a whole bunch of stuff you want to delete. By default, when you select a category like this and you delete it, it doesn't delete the whole thing. It actually it doesn't delete the contents inside. And this was intentional so that you don't accidentally delete any categories. So now you have to say select all to get every single content in here. And you'll see it selects everything inside of this category. We're going to hit delete. And collapse all and expand all work now on individual items. So this is handy when you want to see just what's inside of here. You can also, as always, you could also right click and hit expand all. That one's not as cool. Let's say expand all here, collapse. So like I said before, when you expand all, collapse all, it does it for that item. However, I built in control click. When you control click, it expands every item in the tree. Same with collapse all. When you control click, it collapses everything inside the tree. Same for snippets. And the department version also has the same functionality. So they both work the same way. Another tweak I've done now, when you go to filter, it actually filters out everything in both trees. So before you had to type this again in your snippet tree for it to filter it out, and now it just filters both trees at the same time. So if you say duplicate here, it's gonna do the same thing here. It's gonna get all the options in both trees, and same for the department version. So those are the new features, and the same works for the department as well. So the difference with the department you can see that it actually pulls my username in here, Tyler. And that's because I'm the one who pulled the library into this department. So if someone else pulls a library into this department, their username would show up and you wouldn't be able to edit it, replace it, delete it, add categories, anything like that. All you'll be able to do is paste from their library. The only person who can modify the imported library is that original user who copied over the library. So I just wanted you to keep that in mind for the department tool specifically. So yeah, those are the new updates. I hope you guys enjoy this new workflow feature, and please send me any feedback to my email. Thanks a lot for watching and have a good one.